HR Funk here with a video about a question that I'm asked periodically by folks who either come through my concealed handgun class or police officers that I'm talking to, or even just folks that I'm generally talking to about firearms. And the question I'm asked is, what handguns do I use for CCW purposes? And what I'm going to do is go through a list of my top 5 most carried CCW pistols. And this is not to suggest that these are better than something anyone else might carry, or that this is what you should carry or anything else. What I'm going to do is just talk about the ones that I carry. And as I go through the list, the number 5 is going to be my least carried of my top 5 CCW pistols. And as I go down through the list, the pistols that I talk about are going to be the ones that I carry more and more frequently. So the last one I talk about is the one that I carry most often out of all of my handguns for CCW purposes. And as I go, I'll also discuss a little bit about why it is I carry that particular handgun and not some other choice that I might have. So here we go. Let's start out with number 5. My number 5 selection might surprise some people because it's nothing more than my everyday duty pistol. This is my M&P 2.0 9mm, and it's not really intended for CCW use, but the reason I carry it is because it's the one I'm most familiar with. I do most of my shooting and most of my training with this pistol, so it makes sense that this would be the one that I use periodically for CCW duty. Now, obviously, it doesn't conceal as well as something smaller, but this time of year, particularly in the winter where I'm wearing coats, I can put it in a belt slide holster, put a coat over top of it, and it conceals well enough for the things that I might be doing on that particular day. Obviously, a lot of what goes into deciding which handgun I'm going to carry is dependent upon what type of clothing I'm wearing and where I'm going to be going and what I'm going to be doing. But periodically, I do carry this one. When I do, it's got 18 rounds of ammunition on board, so really, I don't need to carry a second magazine for it. I've already got 2 or 3 times the amount that I have in some of my choices just in this one firearm. So I got that base covered. It's, again, something that's very shootable. When you've seen my videos previously that I've done shooting this pistol, it works very well for me. It gives me a lot of peace of mind. So number 5 in my selection of my top 5 most carried CCW pistols is my everyday duty carry M&P 2.0 9mm. Number 4 on my list a few years ago would have been much higher than it is now. Over the last few years, I've carried this particular pistol less and less frequently. It is another selection from the M&P line. This is my M&P Compact. Now, Smith & Wesson recently has come out with a new version of the Compact that, oddly enough, is slightly longer than this one. Now, some people like that. They very much wanted a Glock 19 size Smith & Wesson M&P. I was not one of them, but for those people that like it, that's fine. But I really think this one is a little bit more compact, hence the name. It's a little bit shorter, a little bit more compact in the grip, and carries a little bit easier. Again, a few years ago, I carried this a lot, and really the only reason that I've backed off in recent times is because my only criticism of it is it's a little bit chunky. And you're really going to get this with any type of a double stack magazine or a pistol that's fed from a double stack magazine. Now, some will be a little bit thicker or a little bit thinner, but generally speaking, they're all going to be pretty chunky. And for CCW use, it tended to be a little bit more visible through outside clothing than I preferred. Now again, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this pistol. I shoot it very well. I shoot it probably about as well as I shoot its full-size counterparts. So as far as the shooting and the handling characteristics, I very much like this pistol, but it just doesn't hide quite as well as some of the other selections that go higher up on my list nowadays. Again, a few years ago, that was a little bit different. I used to carry this a lot. Number 3 on my list of top 5 most carried CCW pistols is the only 1911 to make the list. This is my SW 1911 PD, also made by Smith & Wesson. And one of the things I really like about this is it has a scandium reinforced alloy frame, so it's much lighter than the standard all steel 1911s. This is a very carryable pistol. It is the commander size, so it's a little bit shorter than the full size, again, to make it a little bit easier to carry. It does retain all the features of the full-size 1911 in terms of trigger and grip safety and sights and everything else. So again, it's a very shootable platform. It's very easy to carry because it does have the slim lines of a 1911. Whether I put it in a belt slide holster or if I put it in a shoulder holster or wherever, it carries very well. The lightweight makes it very easy to carry all day long. And this is my number 3 selection for my most carried CCW pistols. Number 2 on my list is the pistol that actually replaced my M&P Compact in my CCW lineup. This is my Smith & Wesson Shield 9mm. And as you'll see, when I talked about the M&P Compact being a little bit chunky, when I hold these up side by side, you can see that the Shield is very much slimmer in width than my M&P Compact. Now this is the 9mm Smith & Wesson Shield, and it is a very shootable pistol, very easy to shoot well. The only criticism I have on this is of all my M&P pistols, this is the one with my least favorite trigger. It's just a little heavy in the trigger pull and just not quite up to all the rest of the M&Ps that I have. But it's still very shootable. It's not something that I can't shoot accurately. It's just something that I notice when I'm shooting it side by side with my other M&Ps that it doesn't have quite as good a quality of trigger pull. Otherwise, I've got a full-size grip frame, at least when I have the 8-shot magazine in place, which is the one that I carry it with, by the way. I don't carry it with the 7-round. What I do with that one is I keep the 7-round with me, so in the unlikely event that I would have to reload, I reload it with the 7-round, but I carry it with the 8-round in place because it fits my hand better. This pistol also is extremely reliable. I don't remember ever having a malfunction with this. I remember doing some reliability testing when I first got it. There's still a video from when I selected this pistol that's up if you want to go back and watch that review. But this, because of its carryability, its ammo capacity being 8+1 rounds, and its overall shootability, is my number 2 pick for my most carried CCW pistol. And we are up to my number 1 most carried CCW pistol. This particular revolver, I cannot begin to tell you the number of miles that I have traveled with this particular pistol along with me, or the number of hours that I have had it with me. This has gone more places than probably even it should have, I suppose, to tell you the truth. But this is the easiest firearm I have to carry, and the reason is because I can do this. That quick, I'm off and running, whether I'm going to the grocery store or whatever I might be doing, I have got a firearm with me. No, it is not a super high-tech semi-auto. It doesn't have a bazillion rounds of magazine capacity, but I've got 5 extremely reliable rounds of .38 Special plus P ammunition in a package that is simply point and click. You don't get any simpler, any easier firearm to carry than a 5-shot J-frame revolver. This one is the Airlight TI, meaning it has an alloy frame and it also has a scandium cylinder, so it's extremely lightweight. I believe this is something like 12 ounces to carry. I can tell you it's not even noticeable when I have it in my pocket, then I'm off running around. And as you can see, as I stand here, and I always have pants that are fairly roomy just for that reason, so I can even put my hand in my pocket. I can be standing talking to someone with a shooting grip on my revolver, and in the event that I needed it, it's out and ready to go that fast. So this is my number 1 most carried revolver because it is so extremely carryable. It's lightweight, it's compact, it's easy to carry, it's still effective. Again, I have 38 plus P ammunition loaded in here. So if I have to use it for a defensive purpose, I've got something that's going to be effective. No, it's not a 45 ACP, it's not a 357 Magnum, but it is 38 Special plus P. And for defensive use at close-in distances, I think the 38 Special Plus P will do just fine. So there you go, folks. That's my top 5 list for my most carried CCW pistols. Again, I'm not suggesting these are the absolute best or these are the ones you should get, but if anyone's interested in what I use, that's what they are. And if you want to add some of your own thoughts and tell me what you have on your top 5 list, I'd be glad to hear it. If you have any other questions or comments on this video, be sure to leave those below. And as always, until next time, good shooting. Bye-bye.